Bitcoin just saw a major flash crash, and I did my research about why this happened, and I will be exactly review it in today's update video. I will give a major update on the retest where we currently are finding support, which is exactly that downward sloping resistance line we retested last time around. I'm gonna be doing a deep dive in this and many more important other reasons, and I will be of course talking about what is likely to be expecting next for Bitcoin, because yes, it is almost Christmas and Bitcoin in a halving year does some very interesting things during Christmas. So I need to discuss that and much more important stuff here on today's update video. So without any further ado, don't forget to once again slap up that like button back above 1,000 likes. That will be highly appreciated. And with that being said, let me jump straight away in towards the content. And that is that, of course, first of all, I want to be pointing out that Bitcoin indeed went up to 104k, then had a major flash crash down here just moments ago here, went down all the way down to $90,000. But fortunately, we did find some support around that level, because that $90,000 level is also one of the biggest levels of support Bitcoin actually has bounced from many times before as well. We exactly bounced from off that level and actually created a big wick on the lower side, creating still and holding up still that previous downward sloping resistance line that now flipped into support. So Bitcoin is actually still looking quite good here in my opinion. We're just seeing a retest of the major symmetrical triangle we created, and all in all what we are right now seeing here is that Bitcoin went up for a very long time in a row, right? And especially since we broke above that $100,000 level, we just need to see some positions getting wiped out here, especially for the people that are opening up trades over there. So basically, we were seeing that the funding rates were yesterday especially extremely positive, and now they're almost back to neutral again here. So basically, a lot of long positions were getting wiped out here. And if we're just looking at the liquidation heat map, we saw that we had about $1 billion in the last 24 hours getting liquidated, and that is of course basically what happened. We saw a liquidation event in the market, and now probably we're just going to see the consolidation continue for Bitcoin. And I do want to be pointing out here is that this tends to be happening quite a lot in bull markets. I mean, we've always seen these things happen in previous bull markets as well here. And if we're just going to compare this bull market to the previous ones, likely we're going to still see more gains getting realized. And we are right now in the most exponential period in the market for sure. And if we're going to be looking at Christmas and in what part of the cycle Christmas usually is here, Christmas usually tends to be happening at the beginning part of that cycle. Usually whenever it is Christmas, usually Bitcoin is already trading around that all-time high here or even above it, which we're right now currently trading clearly above it. And then during Christmas, people are going to talk about Bitcoin with their family, and you're going to get the Christmas effect here, which is going to basically infect a lot of people around them to also be buying Bitcoin. And that ultimately is going to cause the retail bubble to really not pop. And that really allows the retail to really come back in the market. And that ultimately will be a great thing for the next upcoming bull run, right? So yeah, retail is likely returning from of December. And if we're looking at the fact about where we think Bitcoin is likely going to be topping out here, I mean, in the previous cycle, we topped out around that 1.618 here on the Fibonacci. The previous cycles, we went even higher. So if we're going to be topping out in the same level, it will be likely to expect it's going to be like around $180,000. So I wouldn't be too euphoric right now for Bitcoin and set too high of targets, because I do think that ultimately Bitcoin is of course going to be finding a peak, and most likely it's going to be somewhere around $120,000 to $180,000. So also yesterday we saw some insane inflows coming in once again here on the ETFs here. First of all, the spot Ethereum ETF, we saw $428 million worth of inflows, which is quite big here for the Ethereum ETF, because this has been the largest inflow ever seen or ever recorded on the Ethereum ETF here. And you can see on the altcoin season index, altcoin season is clearly right now imminent. And if we're just looking at the Ethereum compared to Bitcoin chart, we're seeing that the Ethereum against Bitcoin chart is also bouncing back higher. The Bitcoin dominance is once again dumping here. Well, yesterday, of course, we had a slight little pump here on that Bitcoin pump. It is now dumping again here. So Bitcoin dominance is actually dropping again here. We're seeing money flowing from these ETFs into Ethereum quite heavily and quite strongly right now here. it is likely to expect that still altcoin season is going to get continued. I mean, at the same time, Bitcoin also had great inflows, especially BlackRock once again buying more than $770 million worth of Bitcoin, guys. So we're seeing major amounts of buys still coming in on these ETFs, and this is ultimately going to be an extremely bullish thing here. You can see day in and day out, BlackRock is the one that is buying millions of dollars worth of Bitcoin, and you can see that the spot Bitcoin ETF cumulative flows are going quite exponential right now here. So I'm very bullish. I'm very excited, and I do think we're going to be seeing much more gains in the upcoming periods as well here. So looking very good to me. We're also, of course, currently in extreme greed here. And if we're going to be seeing a similar performance towards the previous cycle, Bitcoin should go to $200,000. But of course, we do know that not every single cycle is the same, and we should not necessarily base it all on the previous cycle again here. And if we're looking at the MVRV-Z score, we can clearly see that the MVRV-Z score is not even close to be topping out here. And this is one of the topping signals that we are going to be looking at for this cycle. But so far, it is not really showing us the market is significantly overvalued at this moment of time here. So interesting to see, but whenever we are seeing the MVRV-Z score is going to be going quite exponential, that is of course a period of time where I want to be exiting the market, because usually that tend to be marking the top for the market. So yeah, I do still believe we're at the beginning stage of this massive hype cycle towards the upside. Bitcoin exactly found support on the downward sloping resistance line. Honestly, the symmetrical triangle broke out here, but we're just right now seeing a retest back on that resistance level right here. And honestly, I do think that ultimately we're going to be bouncing back higher. And if Bitcoin really breaks the support line, we're going to be looking at the next big support level, which is of course that $90,000 level. If we break below $90,000, then we're probably going to be dropping much lower. But I don't really think that is a likely thing to be expecting to be happening next year, if I'm looking at the market on how it's currently developing. So yeah, guys, if you want to be trading Bitcoin or especially any altcoins, because like I told you, altcoin season and especially Ethereum is looking very good here. And I have most recently started to rotate more of my money from Bitcoin into ETH here, because I do believe that altcoin season and especially Ethereum is going to be a big leader in the upcoming period. We can already start to see that BlackRock is also starting to go heavily into Ethereum. And yeah, if you right now want to be trading Ethereum or just any other altcoin, guys, check out Blofin in the link description of today's video, because Blofin is an exchange where you can trade without any KYC. And if you right now go to the highest link description of today's video, guys, sign up an account to Blofin. You can get a $10,000 deposit bonus, which is completely withdrawable on this non-KYC exchange called Blofin. And they have got all the listings ready, so you can trade all these other altcoins, including Bitcoin ETH. So very excited, and if you're interested in that, check it out in the link description of today's video. And considering the fact that altcoins are still likely to run quite heavily, this is honestly one of the worst timings to be panicking or fading the altcoin market especially. So we've said it many times before, and we're pointing out again here, altcoin season is likely to get started. Ethereum against Bitcoin is starting to perform somewhat of a bottom formation right now here. You can see it also that we're breaking above that 4-year downtrend. We're seeing that the ETH against Bitcoin pair is sitting at an historical level of support right now here. And on the bigger perspective, we are starting to break out here. So honestly, I'm excited about ETH. I've called it ever since we broke the downtrend right here, and we're starting to see that the reversal happen ever so slightly right now here. For the last 3 weekly candles, we've been going up, and you can see here for the last 3 weekly candles, we have been doing quite well here. So this is a bet I am taking. I've swapped around a lot of my Bitcoins because I do think the reversal is going to come right now here. And for Bitcoin, I mean, we're still going to be probably see much more upside here. But just like a last bull market, right? This is like very similar. Like we're right now seeing somewhat of a dodgy, right now seeing this dodgy candle right now here. But we've seen the same in previous bull markets. And people think, oh, we're going to be topping out or whatsoever. No, guys, we're just in the middle of the cycle and we're just seeing some turbulence. And that is just very normal to be expecting and very normal to be seeing. So please do not panic because of that here. We're just clearing sell orders. That is it. Because 20K of last cycle is like the 100K of this cycle. Because 100K is not an easy level to break above of. It's a very psychological level. And yes, we broke above it last time around here. We cleared most of the sell orders already, but most certainly we're going to be pushing back higher later above it again here. So I'm very excited. But anyways, this was it for me in today's update video. If you learned something from it, don't forget to snap on that like button, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace out. Goodbye.